Well, welcome to Morning with Patricia. I just got home from Sacred Space tonight doing Intuitive Night with Robin, and I had a great time. It's always so wonderful. So happy, Wednesday morning to you. So today I'm going to be talking about patience. We didn't know if we were going to be able to do this today or tonight because the computer wasn't working, and so I kind of joked around and said, well, I might have to post that I can't do it, and you'll just have to have patience, right? So patience, wow. I grew up hearing patience is virtue. And I didn't even know what a virtue was when I was a kid. But, that was some sort of high, fluting thing that everyone should have. Patience. I don't know. I don't know that it's something everyone should have. I think that once you learn it and you can master patience, it's an amazing experience. I'm not always able to do that, but I have some kind of cool quotes, and then we're going to talk off these. So by Mac McCleary, I love this. Patience is something you admire in the driver behind you and scorn in the one ahead. Patience is something you admire in the driver behind you and scorn in the one ahead, right? So what that says to me is, we like it when people are patient with us. That's something we really appreciate. We appreciate that people can take their time with us, but we don't always do that in return, right? And rather we live our lives kind of impatiently. We are going from moment to moment, place to place, event to event, and we're always running. We're always running for time. So having patience is an amazing tool to be able to use. I teach my students about stopping time. And I said the trick to stopping time so that you're never late is to, wherever you want to be, you say the time you want to be there. And then when you're driving, you drive at your normal speed. You don't think about the red lights. You don't listen to the radio or look at the clock. You just enjoy the drive in, right? Or however it is that you're traveling, you just enjoy that time. Every time I have done that, I've always been exactly on time, even when it was logistically impossible. So you know that I live out in Almsville, and it takes a while to drive in sometimes, especially with traffic. And I've made it from where I'm at to where we are currently at Sacred Space within 10 minutes, and that's just logistically impossible. And driving at 55 miles an hour. So I remember a time when Michael was he must have been about 3 or 4 years old. And we like to take the kids up on the McKenzie to go camping, and there's a little town down there called Rainbow. And back then there was this wonderful old log cabin inn, and Theodore Roosevelt had even been up there. There's Nikki again. Hi, Nikki. Had been there and signed the book. But anyway, it's burnt down since then. But in the log cabin restaurant, there was a little gift shop upstairs. All right. There's a little gift shop upstairs. And so took the boys up, and all the way up to the McKenzie, Michael was like, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Right? And we're like, Michael, because it's about a 2-hour drive. And I kept saying, you need to have some patience. You need to have some patience. And Michael's 15 now, right? So this is about 12 years ago. You need to have some patience. And we get up to the gift shop, and of all the really cool things to get, he decides he just wants this little tiny ceramic bird. And look, a little bluebird, right? And so I buy it for him, and we take it back down to the restaurant, and I happen to turn it over, or he happened to turn it over, and he says, oh, Mama, what's it say? What's it say? Oh, wow. It said patience. And he says, oh, that's what you meant. Now I have patience, right? So it's always been really interesting, because any time, even as a little kid, that he thought that I was, getting wound up and didn't have patience, he'd bring out his little bluebird. Just kind of an amazing family story. But when I think about it, patience is kind of like that, right? It's something that we can hold in our hand. It's something beautiful like that little blue bird, and very special. And very tangible. Patience is very tangible. And it's tangible because we can see it in the eyes of others, and we can feel it in ourselves. And we can pick things and people and events to be patient about. Right? But why have patience? Well, what if we don't have patience? What do we have? We're driving ourselves crazy because things aren't happening. And, just for example, we've been looking for a while for a new place for sacred space, and nothing has really happened yet. And we're waiting on another place. It's going to get back to us in the middle of May, and see if we can't share space with them. So, but you have to have patience. And the thing about that is you're like, well, what's going to happen, right? I need my answer now. Well, the universe says, you don't need your answer now, because between now and then, some wonderful things can happen in your own personality, your makeup, your soul. Waiting, learning to be patient is one of the biggest soul trainers. Yeah, it's a huge soul trainer. And do you really have a choice? Have you ever really thought about that? Do you really have a choice? Right? Because what happens when you're not patient? Right? You start to get anxiety, you worry, but you have nothing you can do with the worry. So wouldn't it be better to just be patient? I wonder what that would look like. So let me read you another quote. This is a Buddhist proverb. If we are facing in the right direction, all we have to do is keep on walking. So what's that saying? It's saying, look, if you're already on the path, you don't need to worry about getting to the end. Just realize you're on the path. And if you think about being an eternal soul, then what's your hurry, right? Impatience is a human condition. It's a human condition that's linked to things like desire and want, right? Because our desires and our wants, we think, are not being, gratified immediately. And we are kind of an immediate gratification society, especially in America. So, learning some grace around that and having patience is very important. I'll read to the last one. So this is by John Christian Morgenstern. He says, consider the hourglass. That's the cat on the table. Consider the hourglass. There's nothing to be accomplished by rattling or shaking. You have to wait patiently until the sand, grain by grain, has run from one funnel into the other. Let me read that one more time. Consider the hourglass. There is nothing to be accomplished by rattling or shaking. You have to wait patiently until the sand, grain by grain, has run from one funnel into the other. It reminds me of watching people waiting for an elevator. The button has been pushed. It's lit, people, okay? But how often, maybe you do this yourself, you just keep, pushing that button, or they keep pushing that button, like something different's going to happen. What different is going to happen by pushing the button? By shaking the hourglass? Nothing different is going to happen. Well, one thing, you're going to feel more frustrated because the elevator's not moving and the sand isn't, running any quicker. And so what's the one thing you can control? You can control you and your reaction to whatever it is that's happening. We want to be told in our impatience that whatever it is we want, we're going to get, and that it's always going to be like this outcome that we want. But what we don't understand, I think, is that the universe is this magical ballet, and our scripts really haven't been set. We're on the field of all possibilities. You're going down one path, right? You're going down one path, and you think this is the end down here that you want. But as you're going along the path, all these other things start shooting off, and you have all these other possibilities. But no, you want to get to this end. You think that these other possibilities, won't be as good. But you don't know unless you try it. So sometimes we're led down a path of possibilities because we think, this is the thing I want, right? This one thing is the thing I want, until we're shown some other things. We'll go, oh, wait, that's what I want. And then we're shown some more, oh, wait. And so the universe is helping us refine our lives and define our lives. not through just our choices, but through the way that we deal with the experiences. You know, so when we have patience, we say, well, I wonder what else is going to come up, or I wonder what's going to happen now. What I have found in my life is we always get everything we need, right? We may not get everything we want, but I just notice that our needs are pretty constant and our wants change all the time. When I work with people to do manifestation, I always say, we need to refine this and write it down, because the things that people think they want are not defined and refined. Nikki. And so we need to really take time to think, and that's what the universe does sometimes when it offers us opportunities of patience. It says, look at this, Patricia, look at that, Patricia. And during your day, you might feel a lot of frustration and impatience with yourself, with other people, with situations. But what if in some part of your mind you got it down that, look, there's nothing I can do right now about this whatever thing it is, but I can be patient. And what would that feel like? Well, that would be calming to me, wouldn't it? That would be calming to my nervous system, calming to my soul. I don't know why this is coming up for me, but I notice that people have to talk a lot. In our family, we'll drive in the truck and we might not talk for 20 minutes. But it's not that we don't have anything to say. It's just that, we're used to kind of having a quiet family life, kind of meditative. And we don't need to fill up the spaces. We're comfortable with the emptiness. And I think that's why that came up, because it reminds me of patience. Being comfortable with the emptiness of possibility. We don't know what is going to happen, but we don't have to be impatient about it. We can wait for all the amazing, magical, marvelous things to show up. And, remember too that sometimes those magical, marvelous things don't look so good when they first appear. They don't, right? But your soul has asked to come here to learn some amazing things. And sometimes those can only be learned in those ways. All right. Well, I wonder what your Wednesday is going to be. I wonder what magic it's going to bring to you today. Will you be patient enough to wait for it? Will you be patient enough to notice it when it arrives? Because that's the other thing, right? Sometimes we're so impatient, we don't see the gift right underneath our nose. So my wish for you today is that you have a patient, loving, fulfilling Wednesday. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my God! I love myself. And I love you. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Take care.